Every gold rush has two kinds of people: the people digging for gold and the people selling shovels to the people digging for gold. For 170 years, business schools have loved this lesson because it sounds wise without requiring anyone to go outside. Don't chase the gold, sell the shovel. But the AI gold rush has broken the metaphor, because this time the shovel is not just a shovel. The shovel can write code. The shovel can design a logo. The shovel can answer customers. The shovel can generate a sales deck. The shovel can build a prototype. The shovel can summarize your meeting, reply to your boss, and politely suggest that your entire department may be a workflow problem. This is why the AI gold rush is getting weird. Not because people are excited, not because investors are throwing money at anything with agent in the pitch deck. That part is normal. That is just capitalism after 3 espressos. The weird part is this. In every previous gold rush, the shovel helped humans work. In this one, the shovel is learning to do the work. And that changes everything. At first, the AI industry looked simple. At the bottom were the chips and data centers, NVIDIA, cloud providers, power contracts, cooling systems, land, cables, transformers, the physical machinery behind the magic. In the middle were the model labs: OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, Meta, and others building the brains. At the top were the apps: writing assistants, coding assistants, design tools, customer support bots, research tools, meeting summarizers, the polite little products that promised to save you 20 minutes and then somehow created 3 new tabs. It looked like a stack: hardware at the bottom, models in the middle, apps on top. Beautiful, clean, very consultant-friendly. But then something strange happened. Every layer started invading every other layer. The model companies did not want to stay invisible. They wanted direct users. The app companies did not want to be disposable wrappers. They wanted to become platforms. The coding tools did not want to just autocomplete code. They wanted to become software factories. The design tools did not want to just make posters. They wanted to generate apps. The cloud companies did not want to just rent servers. They wanted to control the infrastructure of intelligence itself. Suddenly, the stack became a knife fight in a glass elevator. Everyone could see everyone else, and everyone was moving up or down. OpenAI does not just want to answer questions. It wants ChatGPT to be where work begins. Anthropic does not just want Claude to be a chatbot. It wants Claude to become the calm, buttoned-up coworker who can reason, code, analyze, and operate inside companies without sending a Slack message that says, "Quick sync?" Cursor does not just want to be a code editor. It wants to become the place where software is imagined, written, tested, and shipped. Lovable does not just want to help developers. It wants non-developers to describe software into existence. Canva does not just want to help people design slides and birthday invitations. It is moving toward a world where design, data, code, and interactive experiences blur together. And that is the first big shift. AI is not creating one new category. AI is dissolving old categories. A search engine becomes an answer engine. A code editor becomes a junior developer. A design tool becomes an app builder. A spreadsheet becomes a dashboard, analyst, database, assistant, and emotional support calculator. Everything is becoming a box where you type what you want. That sounds convenient, but it creates a brutal business question. If every product becomes a prompt box, why does the user need yours? That is the fear underneath the entire AI boom. Not, will AI work? It works. The scarier question is, will your company still matter when the model underneath it gets better? Because yesterday's startup can become tomorrow's drop-down menu. Yesterday, summarize a PDF was a product. Today, it is a button. Yesterday, write a professional email was a whole company. Today, your inbox does it while silently judging your tone. Yesterday, make me a basic website sounded like a startup pitch. Today, it is a Tuesday afternoon prompt from someone named Brad, who has never closed a div in his life. This is the compression of software. A task becomes a feature. A feature becomes a company. A company becomes a feature again. Then the feature gets bundled into a larger platform. Then the founder goes on a podcast and calls it strategic focus. This is why AI startups feel both exciting and fragile, because many of them are building on top of the same foundation models that may eventually compete with them. Imagine opening a coffee shop inside a shopping mall. You work hard. You get loyal customers. Your flat white has a cult following. Then one morning, the mall opens its own coffee shop directly across from yours. It controls the rent. it controls the foot traffic, it controls the escalators, and somehow it has your menu. That is platform risk. And AI is platform risk wearing a Patagonia vest. But here is where the story gets deeper. The gold rush is not only happening between companies, it is happening inside people. Because AI does not just sell productivity, it sells identity. It tells the non-technical founder, you can build now. It tells the junior employee, you can perform seniority. It tells the overwhelmed manager, you can look strategic again. It tells the creator, you can make more content than your nervous system was designed to survive. It tells the student, you can skip the blank page. It tells the developer, you can move faster. It tells the executive, you can do more with fewer people, which is corporate language for everyone in this room should look busy. That is why AI spreads so quickly, not just because it saves time, because it offers a psychological upgrade. Humans do not only buy tools, we buy permission to become a different version of ourselves. Photoshop did not just sell image editing, it sold taste. Excel did not just sell spreadsheets, it sold control. The smartphone did not just sell communication, it sold constant relevance. AI sells something even more seductive, competence on demand, and that is dangerous because competence used to be slow. You had to learn, practice, fail, get corrected, build judgment, develop taste, earn trust. AI compresses the performance of competence. It lets people produce the appearance of skill before they fully understand the skill. That does not make it fake, but it does make it unstable, because when everyone can generate, the scarce thing is no longer output. The scarce thing is judgment. Anyone can make a deck. Can you tell if the strategy is stupid? Anyone can generate code. Can you tell if the system will break? Anyone can write a market analysis. Can you tell if the numbers are nonsense wearing a blazer? This is the quiet shift nobody likes to say out loud. AI makes mediocre output cheap, but it makes real judgment more valuable. And that is where the gold rush gets personal. For workers, AI creates a strange bargain. It can make you faster, but it can also make your work easier to compare, copy, automate, or question. If your job is mostly producing the first draft, AI is coming very close. If your job is knowing what the first draft should become, you still matter, maybe more than before. That is why the people most threatened by AI are not always the least skilled. They are often the people whose value was hidden inside routine output. The analyst who made slides, the junior developer who wrote boilerplate, the marketer who generated variations, the assistant who drafted emails, the researcher who summarized documents. These jobs were not meaningless. They were ladders. They were how people learned judgment. And if AI removes the bottom rungs of the ladder, the question becomes, how do beginners become experts when the beginner work disappears? That is a real problem. Not because AI destroys all jobs tomorrow, it probably does not, but because it changes how people earn skill. A world without junior work can become a world with fewer seniors later. That line should bother us, because every expert was once slow. Every brilliant engineer once wrote bad code. Every great designer once made something ugly with confidence. Every strong strategist once made a slide that looked like a ransom note in corporate colors. The messy early work is not just inefficiency, it is how humans metabolize skill. AI promises to remove friction, but some friction is training. This is what the AI gold rush often ignores. The industry is obsessed with output. Faster code, faster images, faster emails, faster reports, faster everything. But civilization is not built only on output. It is built on people becoming capable of judging output, and judgment is slower than generation. That is why the companies fighting to own AI are really fighting to own the first moment of intention. When you need something done, where do you begin? Do you open Google, ChatGPT, Claude, Cursor, Canva, Microsoft, Notion, Slack, a browser, an agent? The first box you type into becomes powerful because it does not just answer your question, it shapes the options you see. It decides what tools get used. It decides which companies get paid. It decides which facts are summarized, which sources are ignored, which workflow becomes normal, and which part of your thinking becomes outsourced. That is the real war, not who has the best chatbot. The war is who gets to sit between human intention and human action. That is why everyone is building everything. Nobody wants to be a tool inside someone else's empire. The model labs do not want to be invisible engines. The app companies do not want to be temporary wrappers. The cloud providers do not want to be commodity landlords. The coding tools do not want to be trapped in coding. The design tools do not want to be trapped in design. Everyone wants to own the doorway, because the doorway is where habits form, and habits are where markets harden. Once people start their work in your product, you are not just software anymore. You are the ritual. That is why AI companies are racing so aggressively. Not because all of them know exactly what they are building. Many do not. They are racing because hesitation is dangerous in a collapsing category. When categories melt, the company that waits politely for definition gets eaten by the company that defines the category. And yes, some of this will become ridiculous. Every toaster will get AI. Every toothbrush will have an assistant. Some startup will absolutely pitch agentic hydration. And a venture capitalist somewhere will nod because the bottle has recurring revenue. But underneath the nonsense, something real is happening. The cost of turning intention into output is falling. That is the gold. Not chatbots, not avatars, not 10 tools that will change your life. Number 7 being a PDF summarizer with confidence issues. The gold is that more people can now move from idea to prototype, from question to answer, from blank page to draft, from concept to code. That is powerful. But when output becomes cheap, the world does not automatically become smarter. It becomes louder. More apps, more content, more emails, more pitches, more startups, more dashboards, more fake expertise, more polished nonsense. The future may not feel like a robot uprising. It may feel like being buried under professionally formatted mediocrity. And that is why judgment becomes the new luxury. Taste becomes the moat. Trust becomes the brand. Context becomes the skill. Knowing what not to make becomes as valuable as making things quickly. So yes, the AI gold rush is weird, but not for the obvious reason. It is weird because the shovel is alive. It is weird because the companies selling tools are also becoming workers, platforms, marketplaces, and bosses. It is weird because a feature can become a startup, then get swallowed back into a feature. It is weird because people are using AI not just to save time, but to borrow confidence. It is weird because the technology that removes beginner work may also remove the path to mastery. And it is weird because the real prize is not the app. The real prize is the first thought. Who gets it? Who shapes it? Who turns it into action? Who charges rent along the way? Every gold rush reveals something about the species having it. The old gold rush revealed our hunger for land, luck, and sudden wealth. The AI gold rush reveals something stranger. We do not just want machines to do our work. We want machines to make us feel more capable than we are. And that may be the most human thing about artificial intelligence. We built a machine that can generate answers, then immediately asked it to generate a better version of ourselves. So the next time someone says AI is just a tool, remember, a normal tool waits in the drawer. This one is trying to become the drawer, the workshop, the apprentice, the manager, the marketplace, and the map. That is not just a shovel. That is the mind learning to sell itself back to you. And if this made you see the AI boom a little differently, subscribe, like the video, and share it with someone who still thinks this is only about chatbots. Because the weirdest systems are usually hiding inside ordinary things, and this one is hiding inside the empty box where we type what we want next.
Bah. Bah.